The Providence Municipal Court hummed with its usual Tuesday morning rhythm. Shuffling papers, whispered conversations, the metallic click of briefcase latches. Judge Frank Caprio had presided over this courtroom for 33 years, and in that time, he'd developed the ability to read a docket the way a conductor reads a score. Parking violations in the minor key, traffic infractions in a moderate tempo, the occasional dramatic crescendo of a more serious matter. But nothing in those 3 decades had prepared him for case number 47. The defendant approached the podium with quiet confidence, early 50s, pressed shirt, the bearing of a man accustomed to emergencies, standard speeding violation, 15 over on Route 95. Judge Caprio reached for his pen without looking up. "State your name for the record." "Michael Anthony Torino, Your Honor." The pen stopped. Time contracted to a single, suspended moment. When the judge finally lifted his head, his expression had transformed from professional detachment to something raw and unguarded. His court assistant, Maria, who'd worked beside him for 15 years, had never seen that look before. "Torino," the judge repeated, the word emerging slowly, as if testing its weight. "Michael Torino." "Yes, Your Honor." The judge set down his pen with deliberate care. "Son, forgive an old man for departing from protocol. What was your father's name?" "Anthony Torino, Your Honor." A pause. "He passed 12 years ago." The color drained from Judge Caprio's face. The stenographer's fingers stilled on the keys. Even the heating system seemed to quiet, as if the building itself were holding its breath. "Anthony Torino," the judge whispered. "Big Tony, construction foreman, hands like dinner plates, laugh that could shake the rafters." Michael's eyes widened. "You knew my father?" What happened next would become courthouse legend. Judge Caprio stood, something he rarely did mid-proceeding, and descended from the bench. Protocol could wait. This was larger than procedure, deeper than law. "Know him." The judge's voice carried 37 years of buried gratitude. "Your father saved my life." The story spilled out in the hushed courtroom. 1987. A young lawyer named Frank Caprio, representing an injured construction worker, the night before trial, leaving his office at 10. The dark parking lot behind the old Doran Street courthouse. 3 men, drunk and angry, wanting the case dropped. When Caprio refused, one produced a pipe. "I was on the ground," the judge said quietly, "certain I was going to die in that parking lot for trying to help a hurt worker get justice." Then came the voice, deep, booming, unmistakably Federal Hill. "Hey, you pieces of garbage, get away from him." Anthony, Big Tony Torino, 6'2" and 240 pounds of righteous fury. The attackers scattered. Tony helped the young lawyer to his feet, dusted him off, made sure he was unharmed. "Nobody deserves to get hurt. For doing the right thing, counselor," Tony had said. "You go win that case tomorrow." Judge Caprio wiped his eyes, unconcerned with the watching crowd. "I did win that case. The injured worker got his compensation. His family kept their home. His children stayed in school. All because your father gave me the courage to keep fighting." But the story didn't end there. A week later, Tony had visited Caprio's office, not for reward or recognition, but simply to check if the lawyer was okay. They talked for 2 hours. Tony mentioned his teenage son, spoke of him with fierce pride. "He said he was raising you to be better than him," Judge Caprio told Michael, which seemed impossible because I'd never met a better man. The judge returned to his bench, but everything had changed. This was no longer a routine traffic case. This was the settling of an unpayable debt. "Michael Anthony Torino, you're here for speeding 15 miles over the limit on Route 95. The formal tone returned, but softened by emotion. "The debt I owe your family can never be repaid. Your father didn't just save my life. He saved my career, my ability to serve justice for 3 decades, Every case I've heard, every person I've helped, every moment of fairness exists because of Big Tony's courage." He paused, holding his gavel without striking it. Case dismissed. Fine waived. Points removed. Violation expunged. Michael looked stunned. "Your Honor. But I'm not doing this only because of what your father did for me." The judge nodded to his bailiff. "While we've been talking, we ran a standard background check. Would you tell the court what you do for a living, Mr. Torino?" "I'm a paramedic, Your Honor. Providence EMS." Judge Caprio smiled, a transformation that erased years from his face. 22 years of service, 17 commendations, 3 life-saving awards, 43 lives saved in the line of duty. The courtroom erupted in applause. "You see, son, your father was right. You've spent your life standing up for people who can't stand up for themselves, just like he did. Big Tony saved 1 life in 1987. His son has saved 43 since then. I'd say that debt has been paid with interest." As Michael turned to leave, the judge called out one final time, "Drive safely. Your father would be proud. And this community needs you to keep doing what you're doing." Then, softer, "Thank you for everything your family has given this city." Michael Torino still serves as a paramedic in Providence. He drives Route 95 every day, passing the courthouse where his father's legacy was finally honored. And on Judge Caprio's desk sits a framed photograph from 1987. Anthony "Big Tony" Torino, standing with his construction crew, that room-filling smile captured forever. Some debts transcend currency. Some justice transcends law. And sometimes, courage appears not in grand gestures, but in parking lots at 10 o'clock at night, refusing to let darkness win. The most powerful. Inheritance isn't wealth or status. It's the example of how to live, with courage, with conscience, with the understanding that doing right matters more than being recognized for it. Big Tony Torino understood that truth. He lived it one March night in 1987, and his son carries it forward every time he answers a call for help. That's how heroism works. Not in explosions of glory, but in quiet accumulation. One life saved, then another, until the light drowns out the darkness and grace becomes indistinguishable from justice.